because of that, the Scottish education system has been copied all over the world, and in fact that's been the basis for the Chinese and the American model. And they all have 4 years, just like the Scottish system. So because of that, if you study at the Scottish University, your degree will be recognized the world over, because it's compatible with most of institutions around the world. You also have the rigorous quality. I'm sorry, I'm really nervous about this. It's probably easier to ask me questions than presenting something for you. The main thing about the Scottish higher education is the rigorous quality of the quality assurance in the teaching and research, and that means every year every university goes through an assessment of what they're teaching and the teaching material, so you can be assured that the presentation or the quality of the teaching is there for you. Sorry, there's a slide about. I'm sorry, but the Scottish education system teaches you not what to think, but how to think. And I put this slide there because the Scots are quite innovative, and they change the way we live our lives every day and the way we work. So, for example, some of our alumni created the telephone, the television, economics. You can see in Scotland the first cloned animal, like Dolly the sheep, was created. And my point here was probably because the Scottish system and the education has been so ingrained in Scotland, people are going out of their way to think in a different way. Sorry about this. I'm going to move on to presenting you how the undergraduate degree works. Have you got any questions so far, or am I just, are you okay? Okay. So, are you thinking of applying for postgraduate or undergraduate mainly, or is it a mixed? Postgraduate. Undergraduate, okay. For the undergraduate program, you can choose. I'm sorry about that. Where was I? Okay. Undergraduate, it's where the difference is between Scotland and the rest of the UK. In Scotland, you study for 4 years, and it's very a broad-based study. You can choose from all these subject matters, over 100 departments and over 1,000 degree program. So, for example, sorry. Okay, so in England, for example, you're asked to choose one specific subject, but in Scotland you'll be asked to select one subject, and you'll be asked to select additional subjects. So I think it'd be easier if I show you an example. So in your first year, for example, you would pick, for example, your first subject would be history, and you'd be asked to pick a classics or a second subject and a third. In your second year, you would carry on with, for example, history, classics, but you could change your third subject from archaeology to philosophy. It's only in the second year that you start specializing, and you pick which subject you want to carry on with. So your third year and fourth year would be history. But in this example, for example, you've done the classics of first year, classic of second year, and so you could have decided to be specializing in classic again. So you could have, with this model, you could have specialized in history, or you could have specialized in classics, but that also means you could have you could have applied for history but graduated in classics. I don't know if I'm very clear with this. Is that okay? So again, this model is a lot more flexible than the rest of the UK. So in England, you would pick one subject and carry on through to graduation. With the Scottish model, you can pick one subject and graduate into another, or you can graduate in joint honours or carry on with one subject. Okay. To apply to an undergraduate program, you would have to go through UCAS, and that's no different from the rest of the UK. So UCAS is a centralized system. You have 5 choices, and therefore 5 choices of universities. Each university only see the subject that you've submitted to them. If you're thinking of applying for medicine or vet medicine or dentistry, the deadline is very different. It's on the 15th of October. But if you're applying for any other subject, the rest, for international students, the deadline is only the 7th of June, I think. Okay. For your presentation on UCAS, you would have one reference from a teacher, and you also have to fill in a personal statement. So the personal statement would be you filling in your details about how good you are, why you should be offered a place. But you have to be careful not to be too specific about your personal statement, because all the university can see what you've written in your personal statement. So if you say, for example, I want to study in the University of Glasgow, but your statement is read by the University of Edinburgh, they're just going to wonder why you fill in all these details. So that's something to think about when you're filling your application. Sure. UCAS is only for undergraduate. For postgraduate, normally you would be asked to apply to the university yourself or directly. Okay. For postgraduate studies, the denomination for the degrees are exactly the same. The duration, though, is only 1 year. So for Toastmasters, you'd have the MSc, MBA, the MEd, and the LLM. And again, that's the 12 months program. And what you do is 9 months of taught lectures and 3 months of research. So you would have to submit a small dissertation at the end, and that's how you'd be assessed as well. You also have the possibility to do some degree by research. And again, you can go from 1 year research to 3 years to do a PhD. And again, you would apply directly to the university to do that. In terms of research, Scotland is ranked 3rd in the world in terms of research output number of academic paper. What this means is all your teachers are very heavily involved in researching, obviously, in innovating, in making discovery in the lab. So from the beginning of your studies as undergrads, you'll be involved in that culture and you'll benefit from their experience as well.